He says, next time you think about it, I want to hear. You're not going to scare me away.
Is there any sexier phrase in the English language than you're not going to scare me off?
I don't know. Sometimes it makes me more nervous, though, because I'm like, still shouldn't get comfortable. Because like if anybody is going to scare a partner away, it's going to be me. He thinks, she thinks, they think I can't scare him away.
It's going to be one half of this podcast.
Hold my fucking beer.
But to be clear, it's both halves of this podcast, but it's going to be at least one of us.
I'm Melody Carlisle.
And I'm Sabrina Bradley.
And this is Heaving Bosoms. This is the podcast where best friends recap romance novels and other kissing media that makes us swoon, snark, and refills our cups.
Whether you've read the book or are coming in blind, we'll lay bare every delicious scene and revel in the tropes and subgenres that make romance amazing.
All right, listener, strap in and strap on. Headphones are highly recommended. I almost forgot how to do that. Hi, Sabrina.
It's almost like after how many years you would think you'd remember how to start a record.
You'd think, wouldn't ya? Except here we are. Okay. Hey, I understand why you broke your rule for this book.
Okay, so to be clear, this is my third time. Because Mariana and I, one of my TBR co-hosts, have been on a full Sarina Bowen reread for a couple of years. Like, we don't do it consistently or regularly, but we're slowly making our way through all of Sarina Bowen again.
These are things I understand. Yeah. Yeah, because I realized I knew that we had read a Sarina Bowen for the podcast before.
You read the book that comes after this?
No, the book that comes after that.
Oh, yes. Because this next one is Lauren and Beacon.
And that is the one that I have wanted to read since we read Brooklyn Air.
I'm going to be dropping all sorts of random shit into here because I have so much knowledge.
You have an encyclopedic knowledge.
About this. Whoa.
Do we know who ends up with Castro?
No.
Castro has to have a book at some point. He literally says, wait, who left their dick in a coffee maker in this book? I need his book.
I can't remember.
I need it. Maybe it just hasn't come out yet.
I'm doing a Google.
Because this is an ongoing series for her
to be
even
clear,
now, right?
So the first time I ever read Sarina Bowen was in... Oh, actually, I know exactly when it was because it's when I first started tracking all of my reading obsessively, which was in 2020. Like... Wow, obsessively. I still have a written notebook, but I didn't write down anything in 2023, and I'm going to have to go back and fix that because I like having, I have a disc journal that I keep all of my stuff in.
Sure, man.
And I will go back and rewrite all 380 something of those names at some point.
This is not relatable content to me.
Boy. Well, so I've been obsessively tracking my reading since the beginning of 2020. So at the end of 2029, what I'd really like to do is get those really nicely bound. And that will be my reading history of the 2020s. And then I'm going to do it again. Each decade, I'm going to have it's going to be so fucking thick, Mel. It's going to be so thick.
Yeah.
But anyway, I read Sarina Bowen like I do everything else. I started with her university series. Can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but she wrote it with Elle Kennedy. And that comes up too in this book.
Is that why he's always calling everybody college boy?
Yes. And also in another way, don't worry, this is why I'm such a completionist reader, because like you would never ever catch any of this shit.
No, you're right. You're right.
If you hadn't read, and people are like, well, you don't have to read the series that this is spun off of or that came before this. And I'm like, bitch, yes, you do. Sure. This is why you start from the beginning. Sure. So anyway, that was in 2020. And I did read literally every single Sarina Bowen book that was out at that time, except for her. There was one series that I DNF'd. It's like Defying Gravity or something, or like Dare, something like that. I'm so sorry, Sarina Bowen. I literally love everything.
It just wasn't for Sabrina. Who's Sarina?
Guess, did you notice that Sarina Bowen and I have the same initials?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, you do. Wait. Mm-hmm. Okay, wait. Can we talk about my brain just for a moment? Brief tangent. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about Sarina Bowen. Mm-hmm. I then accidentally called you Sarina instead of Sabrina, and then I asked the world, who is Sarina? Melody. Like, what's the matter?
I didn't even catch you ask that. That's beautiful.
Oh my God. Okay, carry on.
So Castro does get a book. It's Overnight Sensation. The reason I did not remember is I've only read it the one time.
Just the once. Yeah.
And it was in my fever dream of reading.
Have we met his heroine?
Not yet.
Or hero? I think it's a heroine. He's always talking about puck bunnies. Okay.
Yeah. It's a heroine. And we have, by the way, his name's Jason. We have not met her, but his book is the one right after Brooklyn Air.
Mm-hmm. Well, because Rebecca is such a close friend with Castro. Mm-hmm. They're so cute together, and Nate hates it when he doesn't know it's just friend stuff.
I remember his book was very cute. But actually, my reread
the man says, who left their dick in a coffee maker?
This is true. Well, so Brooklyn Air is actually where I stopped in the reread. So like Brooklyn Air forward, I remember really well, including the university series, because I read like probably 20, almost 30 books by Sarina Bowen and company over the course of like 24 days.
Incredible. Wow.
And because of that, I remember like some stuff I remember really loving them. Like I mean, there's problematic stuff, but like I'm just gonna whimsy past it.
It's a hockey series. It's gonna,
yeah, but like there's some stuff in that university series that like it's valid, but I'm just gonna whimsy past it for this conversation.
Fair.
And boy, the reread is going much she because Mariana and I are reading together, but she and I also read other things.
She also read other stuff, yeah.
Mariana, this is a call out live public on podcast. She did in fact skip ahead to True North, which was much farther in our list for the reread.
Mariana, I support you.
Yeah, I figured you would, which is why I was okay with doing a public call out. I've already given her hell about it. I told her that I'd catch up with her, but I just haven't been in a contemporary mood for...
That's fair.
Like a year and a half.
Yeah. Unless it's like contemporary Alien.
That doesn't count. That's sci-fi.
Sort of where I'm at.
Yeah, that's sci-fi.
Or
if there's an alien or a monster, it doesn't count.
I know. It's bullshit.
Anyway, wow. This book... So the last time I read it was the end of 2022. So it's been like a year and a half since I read it. Okay. And wow, I figured that's very unusual for me. Unless it's the Billionaire's Wake Up Call Girl, which I do read like annually for whatever reason. I've never read anything else in that serease. I probably never will, but I read that book like once a year. I don't know what it is about that fucking book.
I love it.
But yeah, so I'm going to be dropping like tidbits. I'm going to be going on so many fucking tangents.
I'm so here for it. So here's my problem. Do you want to know my problem right now? I'm in a problem zone.
Okay.
I did already commit to a Theodora Taylor rabbit hole. And so because of that, my library...
I started the very first in the series that we talked to.
But because of that, my library's like, you have to wait until February, bitch. You're done with your hoopla borrows.
Oh no.
I've hit my limit.
Guess what I signed up for?
What?
Kobo Plus.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's good.
Yeah, it's like $9.99 for, I don't know if it's unlimited audiobooks. I think it is, but it's like, if they're a part of it, then it's unlimited. That's why I'm reading Theodora Taylor, her books are on Kobo Plus. Because a lot of them aren't at any of my libraries, and I'm distraught.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay. Hey, we're about to get into this book, but first, we have some incredible people who have joined our Patreon, and so we would love to tell them, hey, and thanks, and you're rad. So that's what we're going to do right now. Hold on. Let me get my spreadsheet up, because I'm organized today, everybody. You better get stoked about it. Okay. So, hi. Welcome to the Patreon, Katie L. and Katie B.
Weasel Hut and Valentina S.
Taters 88 and Maya P.
Colleen N and Megan R.
And finally, Katie TW and Julia V. Thank you for being part of the Patreon.
Wait, my love, that's Kate TW.
What did I say?
Katie. I know that you had a million other Katies to say, but
interesting.
I figured
Hello, Kate TW. I have named you correctly. Thank you so much for being part of the Patreon.
I am so delighted by both Weasel Hut
and Taters 88.
And I love that there's so many taters. You gotta add the numbers, because otherwise...
You're right.
It's taken. I'm assuming that's what happened anyway.
Can I tell you, when I walked into Netta's house last week to be like, hey, we're going to hang out, I literally went, are you making tater tots? She was like, yes, I am. They're in the air fryer. And I was like, yeah, you are. That's what this nose knows.
Fuck yeah. I know my shit.
That's right.
Which, frankly, that tracks.
You want to know who else knows her shit?
Is it Ariana?
It's Ariana. Yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty fabulous. So I'm very curious. What's your overall feelings about book?
Love book.
Okay, cool.
Big fan of book. Listened to it twice since yesterday.
What?
I did a lot of yard work today, which is also why I'm in an incredible mood. Tons of yard work. I felt so good. I got my hands in the dirt. I cut some trees down. I did a bunch of shit that was incredible today. Lots of shovel work. Lots of, clutching my butt to make sure I don't hurt my back kind of situations. Ooh, it felt good. And while I did that, I listened to this hot and spicy and fantastic book. So here we are.
Action-packed.
Action-packed. Holy shit.
But how long is the audiobook?
9 hours and 50 minutes, I think.
Oh my God. Mel.
Yes,
what?
ma'am.
That's almost 20 hours.
Well, not if you're listening at 1.5 or 2.
Oh, that's how you fucking do it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No fucking wonder. I have been pondering how you fucking managed to listen. When you were reading Iron Flame and you were like, yeah, it's like a 28-hour audiobook, and I listened to it in 2 days. I was like, what the actual fuck?
Well, okay, so a lot of times...
This makes more sense, though, because I can't do that. So I have some form of auditory processing. And so when you speed it up like that, I don't listen to my podcast that fast. I don't listen to my audio. I can't listen to shit that fast because I just will not...
So that was one of my biggest challenges, and one of the things I got in my head about the most when I was recording Toxic Desire. That's one of the reasons the book took so long to come out, because I listen. I mean, I know a lot of people listen at 1.5 or 2, but because of that, I was reading a lot faster than I guess is recommended, you know what I mean? Than industry standard. And so I kept on getting in my head about it and being like, no, you have to slow down and be an audiobook narrator. And then I finally figured out that I was going too hard in that direction. So I should just be natural. It was a whole thing that I did. Yeah. But one of the biggest reasons is because it doesn't take anything away from me. Usually, depends on the reader, doesn't take anything away from me to speed it up. However, I will say that now that I'm listening to audiobooks more as research, and training,
you put them on normal,
or at least the first read through, they'll be on 1. And then if I'm listening subsequent times, that's when I speed them up.
Okay, I think I might be able to handle something like that. But the idea, oh my God, wow. if I listened to an audiobook, because I did have the thought when I was concussed, I couldn't read. And so I was listening to audiobooks and like cleaning my house and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, I forgot how much I enjoy an audiobook because I can like be up and about and doing things.
Hell yeah.
But also like
I can tear up my whole yard.
Because I started His Pretend Baby on audio for that reason. And then when I was trying to take notes while listening, it just didn't work. So I read it.
It's tough.
Like, yeah. So I went back to an audiobook that was whatever, because I knew we were going to be recording in a couple of days. And so like I just went back and read it the day before we recorded or something like that.
And that's why I normally listen to books for the podcast multiple times, even if like I don't especially enjoy them, because it is really hard to like stop and take my gloves off or whatever I need to do to like make a note about what happened in chapter 15. And so I'm more like, you know, my brain for some reason will pick up and just stick with plot usually if I encounter it more than once.
Yeah.
At least in the short term. I cannot tell you what happened in Brooklyn Air other than a concussion and pool floaty fart sounds.
I mean,
and that was a bit that happened from the podcast about the book. So I guess they probably had pool sex at some point. I also remember an AI in the house. I also remember that I didn't like his decor. Okay, maybe I remember more about the book than I thought I did.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's a couple. Well, so like it definitely brings back thoughts. So I actually ended up hitting up Mariana because for the life of me, I couldn't remember the actual like main conflict in the first book in this series. And so I messaged her also like, bless her, because I didn't even say what the name of the book was. I don't know how she knew I was talking about Hard Hitter. Maybe I mentioned it at some point that you and I were going to be doing it, but I was like, how did, like, I realized after the fact, because she came right back, like.
Now that I think about it, we should have had Mariana on for this one. I didn't even think about it before. Shoot. Oh, well, next time we do a Sarina Bowen, we'll have Mariana on, and she'll do it with us.
I didn't even think about it either.
I know, right?
Wait,
we just get in a groove.
Do we want to see if she wants to come on right now?
No, because she's not prepared.
She hasn't read the book again.
Yeah. Okay, so
anyway,
we start out in this book, and
we learn one thing very quickly. Patrick O'Doul hates yoga because he's bad at it.
Yeah, but he does it because he hates massage more. And so...
Well, he also has no choice. Like, you've read Brooklyn Air. Anyone who listens to the podcast knows, like, Nate's not going to accept you saying no to yoga because you think it's some pansy-ass bullshit.
Right. Yeah, Nate Kattenberger's not going to do it. Also, before I remembered what Nate's name was, before it was told to me, and they talked about picking up their cat phones, I just imagined, like, a pink silicone phone case that had like little ears on it, and I was imagining this like giant enforcer hockey player carrying it around, and so because of that, that's what I thought the whole book. It was incredible. It was beautiful. Highly recommend.
Well, so he also has decided that he doesn't mind yoga though because the Hottie McHottie at the front of the room,
hot stuff is up there,
and listening to her instructions, because this is also when we learn about the dread that he feels about getting on the ice. Like, oof.
Yeah, because he's the enforcer for the Brooklyn Bruisers, which means that although he's not like a true enforcer in that he has no other skills, like he's a really good defensive person. He makes shots like more than a lot of other enforcers in the NHL.
Good at the puck ball.
He's doing puck stuff all over the place. And it's at an elite status, I've heard. And so he's the one who like throws off his gloves and beats the fuck out of whoever needs to be beaten the fuck out of because hockey, ? I still don't really understand the fighting culture in hockey, but I also don't know that I ever will. So I'm not going to spend time on it.
I'm a pacifist, so I know for a fact that I'm just never going to get it.
Yeah. I like that a lot of hockey is moving away from that, though, because traumatic brain injuries are real.
Well, Nate, that comes up later in the book, because Nate's like, I need you to stop fighting.
I need you to be healthy. We need you healthy more than anything else, Nate says. And thank goodness.
Yeah. So she does then ambush him, though, when he's struggling in child's pose. And she's like, hey, so you're making me look bad by skipping all of your massage therapy appointments, which like... what the fuck, dude? But also, like, can you fix this? Do you know how much I would fucking kill? I know we talked about this at the watch party, but do you know how much I would fucking kill to be able to just go get a massage 5 days out of the week?
I mean, yes, I do, because I'm wondering if it pales in comparison to how much I would kill to have that. Like,
literally Monday, I'm calling my local spa.
Yeah, just to get prices.
How much a massage is, because I've decided that, you know what, I deserve that. I'm turning 30. I should be able to get a massage.
One of my favorite things to do,
if I want one.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do in my younger days before kids was I signed up to be a secret shopper specifically for massage envies. And so, like, if the call would go out, I would be like, I can leave right now on a Wednesday. Yes. I will go secret shop that massage envy 30 minutes away.
Life hack. That's the best life hack I've ever heard in my entire life. I would drive a lot farther than 30 minutes for a free massage.
I mean, I did also. Yeah. Yeah. But now that I can't just like drop fucking everything, I can't really do it anymore, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to do shit like that to get massages.
I can't think of a single place that would be within driving distance for me that I could do secret shopping at for massages.
I know.
And now I'm distraught. I'm going to move so that I can do that.
Yeah, right?
Goodbye. Sell my house.
This book was a really interesting reading experience for me because I have not gotten a massage since before pandemic, partially because of my pregnancy, partially because of like, you know, saving money here so I can spend it there. And then, of course, pandemic and all the bullshit, right? Because, listener, these descriptions are so vivid and lush. And it's almost a tactile experience reading these descriptions of massage and yoga. I found out in my yard when she would be like, all right, let's take a deep breath in. And like when she led a yoga thing for a minute, like I dropped my shovel and I just did it real quick. It was so fun.
I used to regularly do yoga, and this made me go, I think I'm going to start doing that again.
Yeah, right?
Like it's just so nuts. So, because what I used to do, probably I stopped doing it maybe... I couldn't even tell you, but it was in my last place that I lived. Every day when I got home from work, I would, before I did anything else, I would go do yoga for like 10 or 15 minutes. And it was just such a nice transition from work brain to home brain.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And I think I'm going to start doing that again because like...
It's also a really good way to relax before bed too, like doing a restorative... Like a quick 10 minute.
Yeah, because people who do yoga in the morning, I don't understand. I'm already struggling to stay awake, and yoga makes me so fucking relaxed. I would fucking lay back at the very end of it, and I can't think of the name of it because it's been so long since I've done yoga, but like I would lay back and just like, I'd lay back in that, and then I'd miss work because I would just fall asleep on that yoga
I hear
mat.
that. Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry. So he's in a yoga session with the rest of the team and the owner and like the management team and everything. And the reason that Sabrina brought up the dread earlier, the dread about him going on the ice, is because he enjoys yoga and these sessions in particular because it's one way to distract his brain away from like the dread and wanting to like over prep for whatever enforcer he's going to face that night. So when she comes over, she verbally corrects his posture because she found that he gets like more tense and weird if she touches him to adjust his posture. And she's like, hey, also, you're making me look really bad by not showing up to any of my massage sessions. And like, we can get you a different therapist. Like, whatever the issue is, we can find a solution. And he's like, no, I'll totally be there. I promise. Some Boy Scout times now. She's like, okay. Because at one point he hurt his wrist this season, but now he's got like low grade pain in his hip flexor. And that is becoming a problem because he's 32 at this point.
He's overcompensating with his lower back specifically.
Right.
So I'm not going to lie. So there are quite a few things in this book that gave me like flashbacks to when I played roller derby.
Yeah.
Because like, well, so like one of the quotes that I have is him thinking while they're in yoga, he's like, Christ, the whole world was focused on his weakness. Chronic muscle soreness shouldn't be such a big deal. Playing through pain was a rite of hockey. And when I did hockey, or not, when
you did roller derby,
I don't need to do hockey. I would probably really die.
Yeah, for sure. I would.
I love ice skating, but like you don't need to put a
I don't need
puck
anybody
in there
to try to whack me into a plexiglass wall.
Yeah,
I don't need
but
that.
Like it, as much as people said that the sport did not encourage, like, and teams didn't encourage playing through the pain, that is bullshit. Not accurate. No, it's absolutely bullshit. It's any fucking contact sport. They just like, they're like, okay, are you healed enough? And it's like, no,
perhaps not.
like no, absolutely. Like I have fucking torn up knees because of it. You know what I mean? Because like you don't want to let your people down and things like that. And like, boy, every time he was talking about stuff like that, he's like, just got to go out there and overcompensate here and do that. I was like, oh my God. There's a lot of shit in this book that gave me flashbacks. Like, we'll get there at the very end. Anyway.
Okay. So, all right. Now we switch to Ariana's perspective. Because she is the team massage therapist and yoga instructor, which means she also travels with the team quite a bit. And she has just gotten out of an 8-year relationship. And the reason that she did is because her boyfriend had been like declining for a while as far as like how he treated her. And at first she thought it was stress, things weren't going his way, blah, blah, blah. It would get back to normal. But finally, especially when she started traveling more with the team, he started being like, where the fuck have you been? You're a slut who's cheating on me and all the business. And she finally got so sick of it that one night she was just like, no. And like, if you think that, then like, why are you still with me? And then it got physical and he like pushed her
down the stairs.
Yeah, like
he pushed her near the stairs. She slipped. And then what stopped her fall was her foot getting caught in the balustrade of the stairs.
And so her ankle broke.
Yeah.
And thankfully, that was the last straw for her, and she was able to extricate herself safely from the relationship at that point.
Yeah. And this was 6 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah. And so she moved all his stuff into the basement, and she was like, you don't live here anymore, but you need to get your shit out. She got the
locks changed, and she was like, and she's only talking to him through email. She won't answer his phone call. She's like, fuck you, dude.
That's right.
Get your shit. We're done. And her adorable tenant, Maddie, just like hollers out the window at him all the time. She's like, get the fuck out of here, asshole.
Yeah, she's a flight attendant, and I kind of want her to be with a bruiser, but I don't think that's going to happen. No. Who knows? Yeah.
Not that I've ever seen.
It's fine.
But anyway, so, by the way, this is also the first time. So after the game, they win. And turns out this was Leo's friend. Nope, not yet. We do meet Leo and Treppy, though. Nope. Yes. Leo Treppi's the same person.
Leo Treppy is his name.
Georgian Leo. They are from the book before this.
Yes.
And it's actually a second chance romance. They met and fell in love in either, like, they were in high school and fell in love together. And then right before he's going off to college, trigger warning, she has a really bad sexual assault.
Oh,
and then
that's why?
And they end up breaking up
she breaks up with him.
Well, not because of that. They stay together past it, but then she's so sick of everybody treating her like a fragile little flower. And she just wants a fresh start when she goes to college. This is like mid-spring when they break up. And he's trying to take care of her, but she's like, I don't need you to take care of me. I need you to fucking treat me like you've always treated me. Like you, every time you are too sweet to me, it reminds me
me that I'm a victim.
And I just need I need a fresh start. And so then they end up getting back together because her dad is the team coach and she works for the Bruisers. And of course, Leo gets signed.
Yes.
So that's their whole story. And their whole thing is like, well, I can't be with you because why would you like, oh no, we work.
But now they're getting married. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Now they're getting married. So
anyway,
he goes in for one session.
By the way, one more thing.
Yes.
They went, this is that time. Hartley, his friend who's on the opposite team that lost brings them over cookies. He and Callahan are the first book in the University series.
Okay.
And they meet because they're both in wheelchairs.
Okay.
And so they're in the handy-capable quarters in one of the buildings. And they're across from the hall from each other. So it's a college romance. And it's just super cute because, like, it's just so cute. And she has a issue that will never be fixed. Like, it can only maybe get a little better. And then he can recover from his injury. It's a temporary injury. And so obviously he's playing hockey again. And theirs was it was very cute. And it was the whole start to that series. And anyway, just I
had a feeling we had met them somewhere before, but I whimsied it. So he goes in for his first massage session and he's so uncomfortable. And at first, she thought that the reason that he would get more tense when she would correct his postures was because he didn't want to be corrected by a woman. But then when she started thinking about the fact that he also kept on ducking his massage appointments, she's like, probably has a lot more to do with just the physical touch. And when they were out, when we met this first college book boy, she put her hand on his shoulder just to lean down and like kiss Georgia on the cheek. And he tensed up a bit then. And it's from his perspective. And it's so cute because he's like, he really didn't want his friends touching him. He wanted friends to be like a hand-free situation, even when they were incredibly hot. And it was, I don't know, I just really liked it because I don't know why I liked it so much. I think probably because she was just any other person to him instead of being like, the hot thing.
She was the exception from the very get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, she finally chats with him about it in the session. And she decides to turn half of his session into her not touching him, but instead leading him through some exercises. Or
specifically
that he can do
not
himself.
Touching his weakness. Because he finally accepts that he needs a massage, and she turns it into more of a gym exercise almost, where he's actually the one working that muscle and she's doing another thing. And that helps him get out of his head a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that goes well. And Zippy Zappy, she is on her way home and sees her ex's car near her townhouse.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And at first, she's like, yay, I've been asking him to get his shit out of my basement for fucking months. Thank goodness.
And then she finds out the next day when she's leaving, because she does, after all of that's done, the next morning before she heads to work, she goes down to figure out what's going on. Turns out he changed the locks on her own fucking basement.
And then set up an office in there. And she's like, what in the world is happening right now? So when they get to their destination for their next away game, he comes in for his massage in the hotel room she has set up. But when he enters, she's on the phone with the locksmith being like, he doesn't live there anymore. He doesn't have the authority to change the locks. I need you to change them back. We need to fix this.
Well, and now they're causing a problem because they're like, well, is your name on the deed? And she's like, well, no, but you literally changed my locks for me already. And then she finds out they're the ones who changed the locks for him too, because he said he still lived there. What the fuck? But they do end up doing it.
He lied. Men do that sometimes.
And O'Doul, of course, is getting changed in the bathroom and I don't know what to do about this. But he does decide this time. So the first time they had a massage, he wears his boxer briefs. And this time he just goes fully nude.
Ooh. But she's so shaken up after this phone call that she's a little bit bumbly. And she drops one of the oil bottles. He lunges for it to get it, and he does get the bottle of oil, but he does lose his towel in the process. No. And he's like, oh no.
Oh no.
She's seen my ass before because she's been in the locker room, but this is totally different, and I look so dumb. He's just oh no.
Yeah, so then they do have their massage, and there was a really touching moment where she's like, so he's explaining why he fights, and it's to protect his people, to change the mood of the game, on all of these reasons. And then she says, but who protects you? And he's like, I guess I do?
Yeah, like, I guess me or nobody. I guess I don't know.
But then by the end of the massage, he is so relaxed that he has a hard-on laying down on this massage bed.
He pops a boner.
And she's like, okay, you can roll over now. And he's like, or I could leave. Goodbye. Yeah. And then he just like fucks right off.
And she has this look of like just, I don't know, like she's defeat on her face.
Well, yeah, because she
like,
thinks she's getting somewhere with him.
Right. He's
and
like,
then,
it's super not you. Like, I'll even come to my appointment tomorrow. I won't even be late. Yep. It'll be great. Okay, bye. And it's very cute. It's so cute.
Yeah. And so then there's next game time. And there's this dumb fucking punk kid who wants to fight him instead of the enforcer. And O'Doul
tries to talk him out of it.
Yes. And this is when we find out that O'Doul... we already know this in theory, but we find out especially that O'Doul just really fucking hates this. Like, it is so vivid because he knows the minute he punched that dumb punk that he broke his jaw.
He felt could feel the pop of his jaw.
Uh-huh. And like, how fucking awful.
He feels so responsible for like maiming this kid. He didn't want to.
Mm-hmm. And Ari comforts him by bringing him over to give him a little massage in the, like a relaxed massage in the, over on her table in the, whatchamacallit, the naked room.
An alcove. It's just
a naked
alcove.
Room. No.
The locker room.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
And there, so I did write down a quote from that. Write down. I did highlight a quote from that.
You wrote it down with your highlight finger.
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I did use my finger for that because I can't voice to text that.
No, you can't.
Anyway, so the quote is, the fight had hurt 2 people tonight. There weren't any winners. Maybe one guy had gotten all the visible injuries, but the one on the table was suffering too. And it's just like, oh. And so then she does give him a foot massage and he does propose to her.
Just like Castro does, because that's the other thing about Castro is that every time she rubs his feet, he proposes to her. And
he proposes once for each foot. So can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Notice how I didn't squick out at the thought of a foot massage?
I did, yeah.
I have learned since last May that foot massages aren't horrible because I did let a friend...
They're life-changingly good?
Give me a foot massage with socks on. I refused to do it with socks off. Okay, I went and put a brand new fresh pair of socks on before I would even let him touch my feet. But he did give me a foot massage and it was...
life-changingly good, I think is the phrase you're looking for.
I can't even squinge at the thought of it. Like it's possibly one of the only times that I can think about feet and it doesn't let me out, this is why I'm terrified. This is why I'm terrified that one day I'm going to wake up with a foot kink. But
I love a foot massage. I love that.
It's just, you get inured to it. You realize how good it is.
Any massage.
Like, oh my God. Oh,
you know how I was telling you about my bachelorette party at the Turkish bathhouse? I get into this zone where I'm like, this is a professional doing professional stuff to me. And so they can do whatever the fuck they want. And I just I'm like, where do you need? Do you need me to lift my leg up? What do you need me to do for you to get this thing done?
I like how I'm nodding like I know. I honestly don't know that I've ever gotten a professional massage.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite things in the land, in the universe. God, I love a massage. Okay, and turns out I love an exfoliate from a Turkish bathhouse too, because it's kind of like a massage, except grittier. You know?
Ooh,
yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I almost proposed to the guy giving me the Turkish.
I think I would end up proposing to pretty much anybody.
Yeah,
who gave me a massage.
It was touch and go there for a minute. I almost had to call off the wedding and my own bachelorette party.
The only time I've ever proposed to a partner is when they were giving me a back massage.
There you go. Yes. Okay. So
onwards. O'Doul they're back in town and he is having an evening off.
And he's so mad because the trainer's like, you have to get a massage. And he's like, I thought I was going to have the night off. And I'm like, I don't understand you, sir. Anyway, he goes and he gets the massage and she's really excited because he's actually relaxing and letting her do her job. but his body's not fighting her anymore. So she's stoked about that. And then when he leaves, he's like, I'm going to go get a burger from the place that I'm a regular at. It's going to be incredible.
And I don't remember exactly what caused it, but he's a little flustered leaving. He's thrown off is what it is, because he's so relaxed. That's what it is.
He's dazed.
He's so relaxed. He's dazed.
Yeah.
He gets to the bar, gets his Diet Coke, gets his burger, and then starts getting text messages. And he realizes, oh, fuck, I accidentally grabbed Ari's phone.
He's like, who is Vince? And why is he calling me a slut whore cunt?
Stupid slut. Yeah.
Like, I don't need that today.
Me. Yeah.
Frankly, I don't think anybody needs that today.
I love how immediately he's like, who is Vince and what have I done?
Yeah, right? Jesus.
And so he starts panicking, calls Becca, and he's like, I need Ari's address right the fuck now. Yeah. And so she gives it to him, and he runs over there. And we did not mention this
fuck balls
earlier in the book, but we did find out earlier in the book that he did buy drugs, uppers,
times
at a club, because some other really nice enforcer could tell that he was done with all of it and gave him some uppers, and he realized, yes, this does make me invincible on the ice. So he went and bought one time, but then it made him feel like a no good shithead.
Yeah, he didn't
scuttle around.
Yeah, the buying experience. He didn't want to feel like a criminal. Okay, listener, I don't know if you are savvy enough to have caught on to this, but I absolutely was not. For the first, 80% of this book, all he refers to them as is uppers. So I'm like, maybe he got a Vyvanse. Like maybe he got, maybe it's a cocaine. This motherfucker picked up.
Is microdosing meth, yeah.
Meth! He was taking meth before games. I didn't know meth came in pill form either. Maybe that was part of the problem. I don't know. But I did not realize he was legitimately taking meth.
Technically there is legal medication that is essentially a methamphetamine.
Meth. Yeah.
Yeah. So true. I always assumed that it was one of those since it's in pill form.
Okay.
I never thought it's like he was just taking straight meth. Like,
you didn't think it was the blue stuff that
Breaking Bad?
Yeah. No. Okay.
I always assumed that
amphetamines? I thought that methamphetamine was like the level
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mel. I don't know enough about drugs.
But this is my problem, your question. Right? I don't know.
Kind of like how we asked you, listener, for thoughts on money laundering. If you feel like giving us crime information and drug information, feel free to email us.
Are you a drug?
podcast@gmail.com.
We will keep that confidential for you. Just enlighten a bitch, I guess, is what we're asking for.
Yeah.
Anyway, apparently meth comes in pill form and he was buying it. And he looks at Vince, who has a brick in his hand, and he's about to throw another brick through a window of her house. And he's like, oh, fuck, I did buy drugs from that guy. Illegal ones. But that might be meth.
Swoon, he is like, fuck it. He's being mean and scary to Ari.
He can't do this.
And so he goes after him anyway.
Yeah. And then hot from the window above, he takes Vince's feet out from under him, and
man
he can't.
On.
She yells "man on," which apparently is a hockey term when you gotta warn somebody about a dude coming at you that you don't see coming. Man on. So he turns around and he just ducks away from a younger thug man, and he whacks him in his Italian face or whatever, like it does. I don't know. And then he's like, you need to get the fuck out of here. You can't do this to women, especially not Ari. Get out.
And then they hear a like a little police chirp, and they do fuck off at that point.
Then
and he goes in.
Yeah. Well, she opens the door and she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And it says that he does something very uncharacteristic, which is that he jumps onto her stoop and he just on instinct, listener, just from his bones,
embraces
he just takes her into his arms and crushes her against his chest. And he's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm very shaken up, though.
Yeah, so then he does take care of her, puts plywood over the window because they can't do anything about it right now. And they're flying out to Montreal the next day anyway. And he's like, okay, you're coming to stay with me. So she does go with him. And
he says, you can't stay here.
Yes.
You're coming to my house. And then he tells us, the reader, listener, that like, that was a weird thing that came out of his mouth. He's never had anybody over
literally
to his
not
apartment.
A person.
Ever. Like, even when he has casual sex, he does not do it in his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we get to his house and Ari explains her side of the story with Vince because she doesn't know about all of Vince's shady shit in the background, but she just explains that like when they got together, it was one way and then it got worse. And then it turned into a whole thing and it's just bad and not good. And he's like, do you want something to drink? And she's like, yes. And he's like, okay, I have Diet Coke and Scotch. And so they drink Scotch together. And
she says, I don't drink diet soda. That shit'll kill you.
And he's like, well, if Scotch will do it too, I don't want to know.
Yeah, don't tell me. And then she goes, Vince didn't ever want me to have Scotch because he didn't think it was ladylike.
Ladylike.
And in her mind,
fucked.
She's like, oh my God, every time I talk about Vince, he gets worse and worse.
Worse and worse.
How did this happen to me? And she's having this like giant internal crisis because she feels like she can't trust herself anymore because she turned into quote unquote that girl in her mind. She feels like she allowed her abuser to abuse her. And so because of that, her judgment can't be trusted anymore.
I will say rereading this now in 2024 was way easier than rereading it in 2022 because that was not long after. I did
wonder about that.
Oh boy, this was because
Sabrina and anybody else who needs to hear it, you can trust your judgment. It was not your fault.
Yeah, because like those people are just such master manipulators. Like it's not your fault.
Yes.
You might need some therapy to come to that conclusion. And for the love of God, go get therapy.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
But like, ooh, boy.
But that's where she's at right
on
now.
Abusive relationships, by the way. Oh, like, in fact, I'm going to request that we put that in like episode notes because like.
Yeah, remind me, yeah.
But anyway. But there was just this like super cute moment where he's like, okay, I'll make up that because it's a loft. This is not like it's all one room.
It's a studio loft.
It's like it's like the size of a fucking baseball field. What? Anyway. And
that's
he's like,
right.
I'll make
she
up
says
the bed
it's the
for
size
you.
of Grand Central Station. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And she's like, I really don't want to put you out. And he's like, nah, been a while since I've been to a pajama party. We can braid each other's hair and tell ghost stories. And it was just so cute because he's just making jokes and like comforting
and making her feel at ease.
Comfortable. Yeah. And then while he is making that bed for her, she is standing there acknowledging, damn, it's a sexy man.
Yeah. And like when she was massaging him, she's just like, you know, as a massage therapist, I think all bodies are beautiful, but some are truly more miraculous than other ones. Like this is one of those bodies. So she's looking at this hot man make up the bed and she's like, I don't know if it's the Scotch talking, but it seems like we should be fixing to roll around on that bed together. And then she's like, no, cool your jets, get it together.
So then they sit down and watch something on TV and she ends up falling asleep. Yes.
Very
and
important
she ends up
to
falling
me.
Asleep on the couch and he picks her up and puts her into bed.
He tries to wake her up first though, which I thought was very important. And she just like won't move. And he's like, I would leave her, but she's going to get a crick in her neck.
Do you want the quote?
Please.
He knew he could cover her with a blanket and let it go at that, but her head was angled onto the arm of the sofa in a way that didn't look comfortable enough to last 8 hours. Okay, then. He'd just have to do a little better for her. Come on, sweetheart, he whispered, kneeling in front of her. Time to hit the hay. He patted her hand. Nothing. Well, all right then. He got up and slipped his hands underneath her back. When he lifted her slightly, a pair of sleepy arms came around to clutch his neck. There you go, he said encouragingly. And he carries her and tucks her in.
And then she's still like sleeping. She's fully sleeping, but she like laces their fingers together She grabs his hand and he's like, I live here now. And he sits on the edge of the bed.
Another quote.
Yeah.
Ari had told him once that when two people touch, they touch with their whole soul. And her soul was clinging pretty hard to his right now. Her long fingers clasping his hand as if her life depended on it. Fuck it. Still holding her hand, O'Doul stood up again and lifted the covers on his side of the bed. Oh. And then they fall asleep with him holding her hand, and it's very cute.
It's great. It's great. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And before he had even gotten up, before he had decided to get in bed with her, they're holding hands. And he's like, what would it be like to come home to Ari every night?
Yeah.
O'Doul, you closet romantic.
He is. And he's like, I've never even thought shit like this. I'm a loner. I like being a loner. But there's something about her that, like, I don't know, maybe she should stick around for a while. And one of my favorite things about her as a character, you reading the part where she says that when you touch, like, not just your bodies are touching, but like your souls are touching. When they were in that appointment, that was her way of like validating his feelings and his discomfort, you know, because she was like, no, I completely understand whether you're clothed or not. You are offering me an incredible amount of trust every single time you get on my table. And I don't take that for granted. And I don't know, it just made me, I just love them.
Yeah, they're so good together.
Yeah. So then they go to Montreal, they play hockey, they win or lose, who knows. And I feel like then they come back, right?
Well, and this is when we find out part of the reason that Ari stayed with Vince so long. So one of her comments, she's talking to Georgia about it. And one of the comments is that it's like a frog in boiling water, a relationship like
that. Which is a myth, but yeah.
Yeah. But is it?
Yeah, it's not. The frog will definitely jump out.
I feel like my whole life is a lie.
I know.
Anyway. Okay. Well,
it's a beautiful metaphor, though, you know? Let's keep metaphoring it up.
We're just going to keep it. Yeah. Whimsy. So, but turns out the reason she stayed with Vince so long, to give y'all some context, they got together when Vince was 31 and she was 21. She was working in his club and she spent the majority of her 20s with him because she's 29 now.
Yeah.
And she stayed with him so long, even when stuff started not to seem so great, because she really wants a kid and she's feeling like she's aging out of being able to have a child. Which, like,
because she knows that you need a couple of like formative years if you want to do it with a partner, or at least that's how she's thinking about it. So she's like, I was hoping he would get his shit together so that I wouldn't get stuck. She got stuck in the sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what she was doing.
So they get back from wherever the fuck they are, and turns out Vince, she did get those locks changed on that basement, and he sawed through the fucking door.
Good God.
To get in there. Oh, and then when they get back, O'Doul does come by to make sure that her house is safe for her because of all of that, and then they have their first kiss.
So listen. I wish there was a better way to like lead you up to this, but there really wasn't a lead up to it at all.
No.
It was one of those like, we're standing in the same room, they check the house over, and then they just like lock eyes and pounce on each other.
And then they're smooching. And then, oh my God, I would just like to say, I fucking love it when one of the characters is like, tell me to stop. And then like no response, and then they say it again, and they still don't say it, and then guess what, friends? It's on TM.
It is so on
out of
TM.
Fucking left field.
Oh my God, they go from 0 to Pound Town right here in front of us,
and it is
no discussion at all, and it's so good.
It's such a fucking good sex scene, and it does one of my favorite things, which is where when somebody's going down on the one of the MCs, and they look up and make eye contact while they're doing it, and like,
and in this case he makes eye contact and he says, you taste so sweet. I'm never gonna get enough of you.
Wow, it was
And right before this, okay, and he keeps on like visually checking in with her, like making eye contact to be like, have we gone too far? Are you still like in it to win it?
And then she keeps climbing him like a tree, and it's just...
And I also had this moment where I was like, oh my God, he's putting the condom on now? Like they're going to make out and then he's just going to shove himself inside her? No. He puts the condom on and then that's when he starts kissing down her body. Yeah.
And then he does. He fucking goes down on her for a while and then he pierces her.
And wait. But first, I'm so sorry. Right before he starts like kissing down her body and stuff, he whispers in her ear, are you ready? Because I'm going to give it to you so good. Or like, you're going to get it so good or something like that.
He's such a sexy, rugged fucking hottie McHotterson.
Jesus.
Like, she is not the only hottie in this relationship.
For sure not. No.
So they do bone it down and it's hot. And then they fall asleep together after he goes to take care of the condom. And it's super cute. And then knock, knock, knock. They wake up to the cops banging on the door.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry. They do fall asleep holding hands again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It was just important.
That's very important. No, it's very important.
Okay. Yeah. But now the cops are here.
Yeah. And they're here for obvious reasons. And because they have a warrant.
Is it obvious, though? Here I was thinking they're here to investigate the fact that he sawed her basement door apart.
Yeah, but I think that
they're just here to see because this was his last known address, and he probs has some contraband hidden somewhere.
Is that not how? I don't.
Come on, police. Maybe it was part of the ongoing investigation or whatever.
I think it's because the basement is attached, you know what I mean? Like it's part of the property. Like I think that they probably overstepped, but like it's a whole thing. O'Doul totally fucking makes it work though, because one of the cops is obsessed with him.
Yeah.
And so he really plays up his relationship with Ari, and she's just pissed the whole time. She just doesn't.
Suddenly he's being like, honey, do we have cream in the refrigerator? She's like, hand me my bagel, you fuck. I'm so mad.
Well, and at one point, when they first show up the warrant, she's like, so I just have to let them in? That's it? And he looks at her and he says, sweetheart, I know I'm supposed to be the heavy in this relationship, but I've only seen warrants on television. And it was so cute and so funny. Cute. So they finally finish up looking around and all those things, and they don't find anything, unshockingly. And then they go to work, and somebody on the team tries essentially to be like, O'Doul, I think you should not fight tomorrow and let somebody else take it. But he's like, no, because he has it in his head that he's the enforcer and he has all of this experience. And so he has to do it to keep his people safe.
It's multi-layered though, right? Because that's the first layer. The second layer is I'm the guy who fights. And so if I don't fight, then I'm the guy who walks away from a fight.
Yeah.
And then the third layer is I'm 32 and like hockey players might play till they're like 38. And so he's like, the moment the team starts taking responsibilities away and starts making accommodations for you is the beginning of the end.
My God. Mel, if you haven't, I am going. So this is on the 5-star rec list.
Oh.
Anyway. Well, one of the books in the series is, which I'm very excited about. But I'm going to recommend, I think it's called Tough Guy. It's an MM hockey.
Ooh.
And oh my God.
Isn't that your favorite MM hockey?
Yeah, because
isn't that your favorite one?
Heated Rivalry is on the 5-star rec list as of recently. And I am, when I saw
elated.
That,
over the moon.
I screamed.
Did you see rainbows?
I was very fucking excited. And yeah, I was delighted. But Tough Guy, he's the enforcer, and he is I think that's the name of the one with the enforcer, and he is like, he's huge, and he is the enforcer, and that like, this is all he does, like this is what his job, and like these two books are very reminiscent in a lot of ways when it comes to that, and they're both handled so well. And in that other book, he's like a huge teddy bear, so whenever we do read Heated Rival, I'm just going to tell you, Mel, you're going to end up reading the whole fucking series. That whole fucking series is incredible.
All right, then we'll do it for Patreon. It'll be great.
Don't you play with my fucking heart, Mel. Don't you play with my heart.
I would never.
Okay.
So now they have an away game again.
Mm-hmm.
And when she gets on that plane, she gets called into the manager's office in the plane.
Okay.
And Patrick is there.
There is one thing before this that I thought was really fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Because, so she's giving him a massage. This is after they've boned down. This is the day after. And she puts professional boundaries in place because he comes in and starts being flirty. And she is like, so she literally says to him, I'm not a prude, and I don't think it's all that big of a deal to get carried away one night with a friend from work, but this here is my professional space. Yeah. I wouldn't ever touch a client inappropriately. It would violate the trust that you give me when you climb onto my table, and I'm sorry if that sounds really nitpicky, but the distinction matters to me. And green flag number 99.
Yep.
He says, sorry. I understand, baby. I won't tease you anymore. And she says, thank you. And he says, well, then, of course, he's like, not here anyway. And then he's like, can I have Pearl Jam at least? I'll be a good boy, which was just very cute. But like, it's just so beautiful. And this is a consistent thing throughout the entire book. Like, he accepts her boundaries. Like, even if he is not happy about them, it's just so beautiful and consensual. And I just love it so much. And I just thought it was really important because it's like really that's her job. Yeah, but like this whole thing of like her setting the boundary of like, this is my professional, like I touch bodies for a living.
Yes.
So like this cannot be.
This isn't a sexy place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
for anyone.
Not this office anyway.
No.
Oh, boy.
That's right. Sometimes temporary offices are.
It was just beautiful and wonderful. And another swoony moment is he tells her that she's priceless and he hopes that she knows that. And it just made me swoon.
Yes. Yeah, because like, I think one of the reasons that this part hit me so hard as well is I'm pretty sure, unless I'm making it up, I'm pretty sure like right before he validates her boundary, his eyes go a little soft. And it's just like, it's one of those things where like he sees her, and even if the boundary encroaches on his enjoyment of whatever, he's like, no, you are more important than this like impulse that I have right now. And I don't know, by the end of the book, he's like looking at her with levels of devotion that are just stupid.
He looks at her the way that we sometimes look at pictures and make the joke, like I like somebody looking at food and we're like, wow, I really wish somebody would look at me like that. He looks at her like that. Yeah, he looks at her like she is an untouched container of lactate ice cream or Dutch chocolate Bluebell.
That's right.
And it's beautiful.
It is.
Okay.
Gorgeous. So now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they go on an away game. No.
Wait, one more thing.
Yes.
About boundaries. Because he walks her home that night to make sure she's okay.
Yes.
And she has also put the kibosh on
sex.
Any more sex. Because she doesn't want to.
We really shouldn't do that anymore.
Shouldn't do this. So he walks her home and they do kiss at the door and she's into it. And he pulls away. And he's like, okay, I'm going to let you go to bed now. And she's like dazed. Which like. Valid
and understandable.
And he's like, you go to bed now, lock that door. I want to hear it lock and I'm not leaving until I do. And so they do. And he walks away. Like he stopped it because she put the boundary in place. And like how many of us have been there where
and
like
even
in the heat of the moment
she was gonna climb him like a tree after that kiss,
he fucking pulled back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
What a king. God. Wow.
I know. He's so wonderful. So now they're going to this away game. Yeah. And they have to go into the manager's office, or she gets called into the manager's office and he's sitting there and she's like, oh, fuck balls. Because she's under the impression that the owner, Nate Kattenberger, doesn't like his employees being in relationships with each other.
Which, like, for good reason. He is a possessive little dog peeing all over Becca anytime she's talking to another fucking man.
Yeah.
So, like, of course she's going to be like, Nate just doesn't like like that.
They think it's a universal opinion. It's like, not.
What
it's
a fucking
just
joke. Look at Leo and Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Right?
But like, hey, I get it. I have anxiety too, Ari.
No, I hear
fine.
that.
Like, I would well, it's okay for everybody else, but obviously,
but super not me.
Yeah.
Never me.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. But instead, he slides over an envelope to her, and inside is a paparazzi picture of her and him kissing on her doorstep from the night before.
That's the creepiest fucking thing in the entire world.
Yes. And so Hugh, the manager, is like, he brought it to my attention, and like, we take these things very seriously. And I just want you to know that you have the full weight of the organization behind you. We're going to get our security teams on it. We're going to get you a panic button. We're like going to do all the things to keep you safe. No,
she doesn't have all of that yet.
Oh, okay.
But they do say that they're willing to do that. But like, they haven't gotten to that because she's still anxious. She never wanted the team to know about any of this.
Right.
Because she doesn't want it to affect anything. And so now she's even more anxious about it all. And so she doesn't want anything from them. Right. She hasn't come to them for help with anything. It hasn't escalated to a point.
Just a unilateral decision. They were like, no, this is what we do for our employees, period, the end.
Well, yeah. So she gets it later. She gets it later, but she hasn't gotten it yet.
Well, they don't hand it to her, but that's the plan. That's the plan they tell her out loud. And she's like, I really don't think it's necessary. And he's like, no, it's all necessary. We're just, this is just what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't say anything about him, though, right?
Not yet.
Because she's really fucking mad at him.
Yeah, because she thinks that he said, brought it to the team.
Right. Hugh said he brought it to my attention. And she's like, how dare he do that without my permission? Like, I told him how important it was.
So then later that night, by the way, you don't know this, listener, unless you've read the first book in this series. But part of the way that Georgia and Leo got together is that Becca, as the manager, kept giving them adjoining hotel rooms. And guess what? Becca's working her magic again because Patrick and Ari have adjoining rooms, and he knocks.
Connecting rooms, y'all.
And she opens the door, and she's basically like, fuck you for bringing that to them. And then we find out that he didn't. So it was delivered to him in an unmarked envelope, and automatically the security team opens that first before they ever give it to the player, which is how it was brought to their attention.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, it looks like I am no longer mad at you, and I don't really know how to handle this. And he crowds her a little bit, and he's like, I would never have brought that to them without first talking to you. And then they're close enough that he can see her melt. And so then he does kiss her. And then he's like, you seem really tense. I think I should play massage therapist tonight, and you should get taken care of. And she's like, wait a second, is that a prelude to something else? And he goes, is that a deal breaker? And she's like, probably not.
She's like, depends. How skillful is your massage technique? And he says, for a guy who doesn't like to touch people, I'd say I'm pretty decent. And she says, what the hell am I going to do with you? And he says, I'm going to let you find out. And then she does get
strips
naked
down.
And lays down on that massage table. And then he gives her a really fucking good massage.
Yeah.
Like, it's like definitely like heated, but it's a good massage.
Sensual massage. And like he tweaks the nipple a couple of times.
And like all of these things.
Or whatever.
And he keeps saying like, how is this, miss?
Oh yeah.
How is this,
how's the
miss?
Pressure? Do you have any pain?
Do you like he keeps quoting her from when she massages him, and he keeps calling her miss, and that's very important because of another quote from later that will share shortly.
Would like that.
And so he like at one point like spreads her legs, and he's like massaging her ass and letting his thumbs like play along her folds. And she's wet and it's
obviously
hot. And then she hears his pants unzip and a condom open.
Yes.
And then he keeps massaging her, and then he slowly drags her to the end of the table.
By the towel that's underneath her. He drags the towel she's laying on.
And then he leans over her. Well, no. So then he just...
tell listener everything.
He just picks up her hips and penetrates her. And then he leans forward and with his mouth hovering over her ear, he says, I'm going to fuck you, miss. Nice and deep.
Oh my God.
And she's like, yeah, yes. And he's like this. And then he gives his hips a slow roll. And then he does go to pat down. And
it is hot massage table sex, everyone. And like
Sarina Bowen.
Ma'am.
Sarina Bowen, I've never been disappointed in a book that Sarina Bowen has written. You know what I mean? Like every sex scene that I've ever written.
Wow.
I wish.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they stop having sex and they curl up in bed together. And she basically lays down the line. She's like, we can't date.
We're not together.
Yeah. And
he's like, but we could be. She's like, no, we can't.
We work
together. My life is a mess.
I need to get my shit together. And then he tells her that he really likes her. And he's never told that to somebody before.
He says, guess how many times I've told a woman that I like her. And she says, I don't know. How many? He's like, 1. And she goes, 1 other time? And he goes, no. This time.
1 including this time. And then they fall asleep in each other's arms?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful. And then we're just going to scoot along.
We got to motor a bit.
Well, yeah, but I will say that because this comes up.
Yes.
He does ask his hockey buds.
the day after breakfast is one of the cutest things that's ever happened.
Because he's trying to get advice on how to woo her because he's never wooed a lady before.
He looks at the guy from the first book and who he calls college boy. And he's like, hey, how do you get a girl to date you if she doesn't want to date you? And then he makes everybody write down a suggestion on... Yes.
There's something really important for me to share later, so I have to give some context to this real quick. O'Doul is the team captain.
Yes.
By the way, I don't know if we've said that, but he gives out something called parking tickets when people do something. And the parking tickets are like if they do something douchey or just kind of really at just O'Doul's whim. And he's like, okay.
Punishment.
Yeah, but it's also at a whim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because in this
it's O'Doul's
scene,
etiquette.
Yeah. He says, all right, Jimbo, which is their 19-year-old assistant, and he's adorable.
He's their roadie.
Oh. He says to everybody, he says, okay, Jimbo, pass out parking tickets to everybody, and everybody writes down a suggestion. If it sucks, you owe $20 to the kitty. And the kitty, at the end of the year, they donate to some kind of charity of
Women's
some sort.
Shelter,
Last year, they raised over $10,000. And so he gets a bunch of advice from people, and like half of them, he's like, what the fuck? This is terrible.
One of them is like edible underwear.
Yeah. So another one, like, and then some are like, get her favorite treat from a bakery. Yeah. Like, I'll like buy her shoes. And it's so cute because everybody's like chiming in and like commenting on things. And it's just so funny. And he realizes like, oh my God, okay.
And at the very end, the last suggestion is get her birthstone earrings. They're not only pretty, but they also show her that you've been paying attention. And he's like, hey, there's no name on this. Whose is this one? And Jimbo's like, me. And then he's like, aren't you like 19? And he's like, yes. And then somebody in the crowd just yells, Jimbo for president. It was one of my favorite things. These goofballs. These lovable goofballs.
Them. They're so cute.
God.
Oh, God. So then Hugh does give Ari the panic button and explains what happens if she hits it. And it notifies Becca, the police. It also goes to Patrick if she's okay with that. It notifies the entire Bruiser's security team.
Yep.
Like, it's a whole thing.
And Patrick specifically, like, requested to be notified because he lives so close to her. That, like, he thinks he could run over there.
That's the reason.
That's the reason he gave you? And I'm sticking to the party line.
Oh, God. But one of the suggestions given to him is get her a book, which like, great suggestion.
Great suggestion.
And so he, for his next massage therapy appointment, gets all the massage and all of those things. And then he leaves. And when she picks up the pillow, there's a book called Yoga Cats underneath the pillow.
Yoga Cats.
And there's a bunch of cats in yoga positions. And she loves it.
Yes. obviously. And she's like, oh my gosh, that was so thoughtful of him. I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm. And then
now what happens?
So she asks him to help her home after work again, and they just end up going back to his house instead. And she gives him a massage because he took a really bad knock.
Yeah.
And then it's just super cute. They end up not having sex that night, but they wake up the next morning, and they're a little horny town. And then they have some between the thigh action, which is always a plus. And then they have tantric sex.
Yeah, she's like, if we're doing this, we're doing it my way. And he's like, show me.
And it was hot. And then it was so cute because she paused. They're both horny as fuck now. And she says to him, you're very patient with me, but I don't want to be patient anymore. And he says, enough
on your
of
back,
your way,
sweetheart.
With a grin.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Sorry.
And she says yes. And he says, on your back, girly. And then he does take her to pound down.
Well, and it was the best because this is from her perspective. And right before she says, like, you've been patient, but I don't want to be patient anymore. In her inner monologue, it's like, this was a challenge for him at first. But, like, now.
Yeah, it's a challenge for me.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
After sex, he does ask her to dinner again. She says no.
Yeah.
And then he is like, wait, she keeps talking about how much she doesn't like to see me fight and hurting. And so he asks her that. And she says,
yeah, he says, do you not want to go to dinner with me because I get knocked around a lot?
Mm-hmm. And she says that she'll go to dinner with him on one condition.
Mm-hmm.
And the condition is to tell her why he doesn't like to be touched. And he's like, it's not a pretty story. And she says, it's your call. So he does not tell her at this point.
And so she goes to shower and she showers alone.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't follow her.
Just a stab in the heart.
So then she has like a good day, but he gets approached by Nate. And Nate is like, look at these trend boys I have on this chart. What does it show you? And the answer is that hockey teams win when more players are healthy than not healthy. And so he's like,
that tracks.
Yeah, that makes fucking sense. So he's like, what we need you to do is stay healthy. And the best way for you to do that is to give up some of your fights. And so there's a new kid.
Start teaching Crikey.
Yeah, Crikey wants to fight. And he's like, but Crikey's like young and he could get the ball sack kicked out of him. And Nate's like, well, that's why you train him up and you do whatever. And then finally he's like, okay, fine.
And Nate brings out, he's like, in 15 years, fighting is going to be gone from the NHL. The Canadian, this just made me laugh.
This made it so cute.
His convincing. The Canadian juniors teams are already leaning away from it. Concussion research will condemn it. If you step back now, it's not a failure. You're just trendy. This is Brooklyn. Be a hipster. More yoga. Fewer stitches.
Yeah. It's so
it's
cute.
Just so funny.
So he, that afternoon, starts training Crikey. And she needs to find the next guy on her list.
Important thing.
Yeah.
Before that, she gets pulled into the police station, and it turns out there's a canceled check for $9,000 with her name on it.
We never find out what that is, actually.
I'm pretty sure it was running away money. I think he was trying to pull money so that he could get the fuck out of town, because we don't know what's going on with Dude Bro at this point.
Out of a bank account
Vince.
she's never seen before?
I think that he was hiding money, and he was trying to get that out to go on the lam. Because at this point, he's running away. We haven't heard from him or seen him in for a while.
Yeah.
And we find out later that he is on the run from some people that he fucked over. And
well, yeah, because she's gotten a restraining order on him, but the process server can't find him. So he hasn't been served yet. Yeah, so I guess he took out a bank account in her name. But
and was
this
hiding
puts
money
her
in it.
Yeah, but this puts her like in deep shit because now her name and social security number are involved in his criminal case. And she has to now prove that she didn't open that bank account.
Yeah.
So it's a whole fucked up deal. She has to get a lawyer for more hours. She's stressed about that, thinking about like, maybe I'll take up some, private massage times to try and make up the income. But then she has to go find that guy. Yeah. And she overhears him telling Crikey how he learned to fight. And this isn't in front of like the entire team. The whole team's like, yeah, get him, because they're watching the training. And so he tells Crikey and the entire room like I was 10 and the older kids who lived at my group home wouldn't stop stealing from me and beating the shit out of me. And I wanted to keep like some of my food. So he started hanging out right outside of the windows of a boxing gym close to where the group home was. And this 10-year-old started like shadow boxing on the sidewalk, trying to like pick up tips from the outside. And so eventually the owner invited him in, and all these big guys thought it was hilarious. And they were like, oh yeah, when's your next fight? What are you training for? And he was like, well,
to eat?
Every day at breakfast and every day at dinner, but the big kids can't steal my food at school because that's at school, but also on the weekends. And they're like, oh, fuck. So they start training him, and like they just put little tiny training equipment on him. And like a lot of times he's in the ring, but other times
they teach him to fight.
Yeah, that's really cute.
So then we zippy zap.
No, there's more to that story that was important to me.
We don't learn about it.
Oh.
We don't know. That's not in this point. We actually learned less than you already shared.
No, you're totally right. Sorry.
So later that night, we zippy zap. She gets a call from an unknown number, and it's Vince. And he's telling her, leave the house for 15 minutes, leave the door unlocked. I have to come in and get something that I left. It's really important. I fucking need it. And she's like, dude, where the fuck are you? I need you to sign a restraining order. And he's like, leave it on the table and I will fucking sign it. I just need this thing. And she's like,
if you don't,
fuck
your
that.
boyfriend's going to get it.
And she says, fuck that. Hangs up and then leaves. She's going to Becca's house or George's house. It doesn't really matter, because what ends up happening is all three of them, all of the guys are in George's apartment, and all three of them go freaking steal Patrick's apartment because they all live in the same building. And they're like, we need your apartment. Get out. And he's like, whoa, I'm not leaving unless you give me a margarita too. So they make margaritas. He sits down, gets the gist of everything. And this quote just made me laugh, because he's like, who says I'm leaving? You can stay, Becca offered, but everyone who stays is having his or her toenails painted. That's not really my scene. Exactly. And then he says, you'd better have 4 glasses out over there, though. I'm not leaving until someone gives me a margarita. Fair enough. I guess you can have a drink since we invaded your home and everything. She guesses. He muttered.
He muttered.
So then he does go hang out with them, though, after he gets the scoop on what's been going on.
Yeah.
And when he gets back,
they're Hammer Town. Hammer Town.
Because, and this is such a fucking mood, they ran out of margarita mix, so they just started taking shots of tequila.
Oh my God.
Who of us that drinks occasionally has not been there? You know, like. So he gets back. Georgia and Becca make their way back down the hallway to George's house or apartment. And then he takes care of her and puts her to bed. And this made me laugh so hard.
Yeah. Reaching for
because
a zipper.
He says, well, not that part. He says, please don't fall down and hit your head. And she says, you do sometimes, and they pay you for it. And he's like, fuh. She's out arguing me even when she's drunk.
Women.
It's very cute. And this is when we get the full story.
Yeah.
Fuck. And it's like we're, go for it, share.
He tells her that the
trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning for parental homicide. He tells her the reason he was in the group home in the first place was because he watched his dad shoot his mom, and then his dad went to prison for it. So he ended up in the system, but like a lot of foster families, you know, weren't as stable as they needed to be. So he ended up in this group home. He got in that situation. He ends up at the boxing gym. And then after he's been there for a bit, the owner hired him, like, you know, he'd throw him a couple of
dollars. Because he's 14. He's underage.
Yeah, like cleaning up or, you know, putting stuff away or whatever. And then finally, when he's around 14, he tells the guys that he really wants to try hockey, but he can't because he doesn't have any skates. And then the next day, they tried to convince him that, like, it was just one of their, like, leftover hockey skates.
Used pair of skates.
And he's like, but they were brand new. And they were also child size, everyone.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. And God, it just, fuck, dude. It made me so happy and so sad. You know, like, and that's how she feels too.
Like, straight up, whenever I read about like scenes like that.
Yeah.
All I can think about, and this is just so sad, but like all I can think about is all of the kids who don't get that.
Who don't find some sort of
support.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So then Ari does finally go to the team because she's like, all right, I need a private investigator because I need somebody to find this bitch. I like, fuck this noise.
Whatever he needs is very scary. Could be anything that he has left in my apartment.
Because we have no idea. Then we zippy zap to Ari and O'Doul having a conversation because they're in adjoining rooms again where she tells him, I don't need a boyfriend right now. I'm a mess. Like, my life is a mess. I need a friend.
Because he gets her a birthstone necklace pendant because he thinks it'll look good on the silver chain she always wears. It's exactly her style. It's very like earthy instead of glitzy. And that was one of my... Man, that's when I figured out that Michael is an impeccable gift giver. Because we went to a farmer's market and there was like a particular necklace I had been looking at and it was just like wonderful. But he wanted to get me something later and they didn't have that like on their online store or whatever. So he got something at the same store. And it was just like...
Perfect.
They were the perfect pair of earrings. They were perfect. And it was that exact same, like they're earthy and a little funky and like cool and very my style. It was just great. Anyway.
So she does tell him basically, I don't need a boyfriend right now. I need a friend. And he tells her that he cares about her too much to say no. And then I do have another quote.
Please.
Because it just is beautiful. And she says, I am so sorry. And he says, don't be sorry. I'm a big boy, but can you do me a favor? And she says, what? And he says, keep the pendant unless you don't like it. And she says, I love it.
I love it.
And he says, then wear it sometimes and remember that your birthday is coming because by the time August rolls around, I'm betting a whole lot of the bullshit in your life will be finished. You'll be out to dinner with your girlfriends and thinking, hell, that you're sucked, but things are looking up.
Yeah.
And I just, all of her boundaries, like, because after this, he wants nothing more than to kiss her.
But he won't.
But he won't, and he just kisses her forehead and, like, gives her a hug and goes back to his room.
Yeah. And in his inner monologue, he keeps on saying things like, even though she didn't want everything he wanted to give her, he couldn't say no to being her friend. And, you know, that was going to be... And to her, he keeps on saying...
He didn't go bitch to his friends about getting friend zoned, ultimately. No. Which is, like, such a low fucking bar. But, like, it's also such a high fucking bar.
Yeah. But also to her, he keeps on saying things like, I'll take you in any form I can get you. And he really means that. And then... So then they go down to dinner.
Like, I could see some people reading this book and having an issue with the fact that he does keep essentially pursuing her because he thinks that they're going to be really good together, right? Like, he doesn't stop, but he chills out a little bit. But he, like, so for example, right after this, he does go have a conversation with the boys. And now they figured out that it's her because of the necklace.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's a birthstone? Interesting that he gave that to you. And then they're like, hey, what's going on?
This is the coffee.
Yes.
Conversation.
He goes, well, she just told me in no uncertain terms, like it's not happening.
Are you
I'm
ready? I have the quote for you.
I am ready.
Of that conversation. Because Leo brings up the good point of women make different decisions differently.
Yeah.
Like, so it's relax, like, be chill. And O'Doul was like, so he's like, oh, Leo's example is, how do you buy a coffee maker? And O'Doul was like, I point to one that looks good, then I just buy it. He's like, exactly. And he's like, so what does that have to do with Ari? maybe she already found the model she wants, but she has to walk out of the store one time just to be sure she knows her own mind. O'Doul grunted. I don't know. If I walk in to buy a coffee maker, I'm leaving with a coffee maker. And he's like, that's my point. You're leaving with a coffee maker because you have a dick. And then Castro says, wait, who left his dick in the coffee maker? And O'Doul says, check, please.
It's the best. It's the best.
And then like it is very clear that that's what's happening. Like Arya is questioning herself, right? Because we talked about this earlier, she doesn't trust her own judgment.
Yes,
is the biggest issue here, because she's like talking to the girls about it, and she's like, I like him, but I can't. And then later, O'Doul asks Arya during one of the massages, he's like, so like, how would you buy a coffee maker? And she's like, I'd buy anyone that worked. And like, all it does is pour water through grinds. Like, what the fuck?
Also, that's not true, but okay, Ari.
But then,
yeah,
before the cute thing, O'Doul does get called into Hughes's office.
Yep. Because
a reporter is saying that she has a picture of O'Doul doing a drug deal in a nightclub. And before he says anything, he says, I need to talk to my agent.
And Hughes is like, are you shitting me right now? Like, I'm trying to help you. But he can't trust him because ultimately Hughes' responsibility is to the team and to Nate. And he's been hung out to dry way too many times by authority figures to trust that bullshit. And so he's like, I got to go talk to my agent. He goes home. He turns off his cat phone. He puts it in the bathroom.
Which, like, fair. The more you learn about the cat phones, like, the more you're like, I can't believe he did not put that thing in a fucking metal box and temporarily drop it into the fucking Hudson.
No, really. Like, Nate is Big Brother. In all ways. Like, the cat phone is always listening. So he turns it off, takes it into the bathroom, turns on the water, and then like leaves the room, goes to the other side of his Grand Central Station apartment to use the landline and talk to his agent. And the agent is like, you know, working through it with him. And he says, my gut tells me that Hughes wants to help me. And the agent's like, okay, but you know that the only person you can trust for absolutely sure is me, because our interests are perfectly aligned. I don't make money if you don't make money. But he's also like, and like, can you not make drug deals in clubs?
In nightclubs?
If you need something, you tell me and I find somebody to get it to you. And he's like, holy God, nope, this is not where I want this to go. Like, I don't want to be a criminal anymore. It was the one time. And the agent is like, one time? You have the worst luck.
Yeah. So and anyway, then it's super awk the next day because it's during yoga. The management is not there like they usually are. The fucking whole team is fucking dead silent. And we find out it's because
everybody's seen the article.
There's an article out there about how O'Doul is addicted to pills.
And Vince texts her and he's like, your boyfriend got it. And if you don't let me into your apartment, I've got video and I can make it look like the whole team is using. So like, get your shit together.
So then, and we're just going to motor a little bit because like we're in a fucking speed run all the way to the very end at this point. Because so she goes to O'Doul and confronts him, or she doesn't confront him. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you got pulled into this. I know it's because Vince is a fucking lunatic and he's trying to
vendetta.
And all those things. And O'Doul basically is like, I am the man in that picture.
I can't talk about this. And she's like, wait, you'd only not be able to talk about it if you did it. And he's very silent. And she's like,
he's like,
God.
all I can tell you is that I'm the one in that picture.
Yeah.
I can't say anything more than that.
And then she immediately spirals and she's like, oh my God, the only reason you've been hanging out with me is to make sure that Vince wasn't, oh no, it's because you were entangled with Vince already. And he's like,
you've known who he was from that very first fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole thing. And he's really upset because he's like, well, it's nice to know that's what you think of me.
Yeah, that's all the faith you have in me.
It's really sad. And then they just kind of fuck off.
Yeah.
And then, guess what? Shit's about to hit the fan for real. Ari gets home. Vince calls her. He says, I have a video. Sends her the video. She watches the video and it is very obvious. Like, you cannot necessarily tell what's in that bag, but like he's guilty. And like it would be so easy to spin that in the media. And like he is guilty. So
and
like
he is.
Yeah. So then Vince is like, I need to get in the house because I have a gun hiding in there and I need that gun. And she's like, what the fuck? But
she says, what did you do? And he says, nothing. And I want to make sure it stays that way. So she's like, okay.
She lets him in. He's looking rough.
Yeah.
And they go upstairs, move the bed, grab the gun. And then she hears Patrick holler from outside, man on, or whatever he says. And then she hears footsteps coming up the stairs. She goes and hides in the bathroom.
Without her panic button. God damn it.
Yeah. And she's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And she tries to climb through the bathroom window, but it's stuck. And then it makes a loud noise. She sees Patrick coming up the fire escape.
Now
the person heard the window.
Yeah. And he's like, who's in there? And he cocks his gun. He's trying to rattle the door. And she's like, oh my God. Patrick finally gets the window up and pulls her out of it. She goes diving toward the fire escape. And he gets her down to the ground, and then he sees a restaurant across the street, and he's like, go, run.
So they both run over there.
And she hears a gunshot in her apartment.
And a scream.
And she recognizes the scream, but she can't even think about it.
So they get there, call 911. Becca shows up to take care of Ari and lets her know that Vince got shot in the chest and he's dead.
Holy God.
Yeah.
So
and then there was a quote, like I won't read the whole thing, but there's a quote about like death and how shocking it is. And like you just wake up.
Was it
you
Vince?
Have no idea.
Vince woke up this morning.
Yeah. And like specifically, like as somebody who survived somebody like that as well, it's like you just don't like anything can happen and it's horrifying. And then she just holds Becca and cries, which like fair.
Yeah.
So she ends up taking solace at his loft, and he takes care of her. He runs her a bath. He puts her to bed.
Gets her
and
soup.
Then she confesses to him that she bought him a coffee maker because he had asked if they were easy to shop for. So she got him the same one she has. And he's just like,
that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Just staring down at her. And he's like, fucking Leo, like this is not
sweetheart. This is the best.
Oh, and then zippy zap.
Yeah.
Ari and Georgia are chatting about Ari and Patrick and all of these things. And Georgia points out, you're not doing what you tell all of us to do.
In yoga.
You are judging yourself right now. You are judging your relationship with Patrick, and you are judging yourself and your past relationship with Vince. And you always tell us to listen to the emotional response.
With curiosity, not judgment.
And then it was super cute, though, because I feel this so hard. Georgia tells her, you kill me because you're flawed just like the rest of us. I used to be intimidated by you and all your yoga wisdom. Now I know you're just as nuts as I am. And like, I feel that so hard because there are so many people that I'm intimidated by. And then like,
when you peek behind the curtain.
You're a great fucking example.
That blows my mind.
Like
I'm so open about what a mess I am.
Like back before you and I became friends, you were still put together, pod host, all that. And then you and I started becoming friends, and you're still a fucking incredible person, and I'm constantly amazed by you. But also, I'm like, oh.
But you see all the shit.
We are. You're also a human.
Everybody's
also
got
human.
Shit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And like, I've been that person where people are like, oh, you have shit. And I'm like, boy, let me count the ways.
Welcome behind the curtain.
Oh, but I can't believe that there's a curtain at all. I'm always startled when I find out there's a curtain.
That's
right?
How I feel.
What are you talking about?
Open.
I am pretty open about the fact that I am a hot mess.
Hot mess. Hot mess.
But
capable, but a hot mess.
Oh, yeah.
Charming, but a hot mess.
Hot mess. So we didn't talk about this earlier in the book, but there was a murder in the nightclub. Turns out that's what the gun was. It was Vince hiding it from these crime brothers. I could
As
not,
insurance.
Don't ask me to pronounce that name.
Don't fuck with me or I'll turn you in kind of situation.
And so that's why he needed the gun as leverage and all of these things. And then that's just kind of the end of that whole thing.
Yeah, Vince. So
it's done.
The organization does get her like a cleanup crew to make sure that when she goes back to her house, like her window is fixed. There's no blood anywhere, which was really thoughtful. Like my old boss would not have done that for me. And her mom and her great uncle come up to stay with her for a bit.
Who own the townhouse she lives in.
Yeah, and he's going to deed it over to her.
Yeah.
Which is really sweet. Meanwhile, Patrick has to like go on a couple of games and he misses her or something fierce.
And while they're not really interacting, he does pass the drug test because they do drug test him. Because he only took
and he does it voluntarily.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not in his fucking system anymore.
No, it was ages ago.
Yeah. Like, he really is the unluckiest.
Truly.
Like, the one fucking time he does a drug deal.
Well, the one time he does meth. Like, we should...
Yes, that's true. But, like, that's what he got caught doing, is the drug deal. He never got caught doing the drugs.
Right.
So he does pass the drug test, and then he has a good conversation. And this is one of those moments where, like, it just makes me smile that Nate actually, like... This is such a good example of Nate actually giving a fuck about his people. Is there's not only the doctor that has to tell the team, like, heads everything. There's also, like, a fucking doctor on staff.
A psychiatrist.
It is strictly patient-client confidentiality.
Yep.
He doesn't have to tell shit to anybody. And they have this whole hypothetical conversation, like, hypothetically, if we had a blah, blah, blah. And it was just really beautiful. And then he goes...
He gets his whole team together. And he's like...
And the fucking coach is like, what are you doing with this secret meeting? What the fuck are you doing, O'Doul? And he's like... Hello?
Am I your captain still? If I am, then I need this time to apologize to the guys. And if I'm not, that's fine. But, like, if you don't trust me with this, then I shouldn't be your captain. Because that's the kind of relationship we should have. And the coach is like, all right, we'll make it quick because we've got a game to win. He's like, yes, sir. And he goes in and he's like, hey, guys, officially, that shit didn't happen. But unofficially, I need everybody to know that you've got a lot more support. And if you feel like the job is too much with you, if you feel like the job is too much for you in any kind of way, don't be like me and do the dumb thing. Let me help you do the smart thing. Because I'm so sorry I made y'all look bad. I'm so sorry I made the team look bad. I didn't want any of this. And they're all like, you're still our captain. And
then they just go kick the soccer ball around and everything's fine.
Yeah.
It was just really beautiful. And O'Doul throws a party in his apartment that night.
That's right.
And invites the whole fucking team. And it's their first time. And it's just beautiful. It shows that he's letting them in and just embracing it. Like,
one of my favorite things is, like, he's getting stuff together and he says this is the first time that he's heard, like, laughter and smack talk echo off of the exposed bricks of his apartment. And then he says, like, I realized with Ari that I need more. I want more. I want more connection. She did it without even trying. She did it without me really even noticing. But I want more in my life. And one of those things is, like, opening up to the team a lot more. It's really, really gorgeous. It's, And then she's back at the stadium and he stops her at one point and he's like, hey, how do you feel about linguine with clam sauce? And she's like,
that was one of the recommendations from the boys was
cook
to
for her.
Cook for her.
And it's the one dish he makes. And she goes, well, I'm pretty allergic to shellfish, so no. And he's like, of course you are. And he goes, how do you feel about ice skating? And she goes, well, I haven't done it since I was in middle school.
Pause. I have a quote.
Yes.
And he says, I missed you, Ari. The only reason I spend time with you is because you're important to me.
Yeah.
You're everything that I want and everything I need. You already have my heart and I don't want it back. You understand?
Want it back.
And then they go and like they go skate together and it turns out
she's got moves.
Yeah.
She can like go on one leg and stuff.
She used to be a little professional, or not professional, but like a competitive figure skater.
Yeah.
And,
until she didn't want to compete
like
anymore.
competition.
And then so he's over there bent over his knees laughing. And she's like, wait, it wasn't that bad. And yes, please read
He says to her, all I do is try to impress you and it's impossible because you're the most impressive person I ever met. I am so screwed.
It's the best.
And then Q, what prompts book 4 with Nate and Becca because Becca steps out on the ice.
Gets concussed.
And this was very reminiscent.
Yep. She
I did not have a Nate. I didn't have...
But you had a Brianna.
I did have a Brianna.
Yeah.
To come take care of me. And that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
But like...
Who needs a hot billionaire? You know what I mean? I'm not this guy.
To be clear, hot billionaire listener.
Do you have a tax deductible ass?
To be clear. But any hoodles, then they end up after skating, they go grocery shopping so that they can go have a cooking date. And guess what? Cooking gets put on pause so that they can do the down and dirty.
He actually pulls through on the Bryce Quinlan Hunt Athalar kitchen scene. It's not just smelling arousal.
He pulls her
goes down on her right on that
really,
counter.
It's more going up because she's standing. It's great.
He's
fantastic. And then they go into the bedroom and he pulls out a yoga term on her and now he's playing yogi.
He says, I want you in balasana, which is child's pose.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I'm sorry, are you speaking Sanskrit? And he's like, yeah, it's the only one I know, though. Because every time you show it to us, I really want to fuck you.
And then he gets up to put on a condom and he like looks at her and he's like,
stay right
she's
there.
Looking over there and he's like, you see anything you like? And she's like, a yogi doesn't fish for compliments. And he says, never said I was any good at yoga. It's so cute.
It's so cute. And then they do sex in child's pose.
Yeah, it's hot. It's real hot.
I feel like that only works with the dramatic size difference between them, though. Don't you think? I don't know. I'm going to have to do some experimentation. But I feel like as a bigger, taller lady with an ass on her, I don't know that this would logistically work for me. We're gonna figure it out. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll report back.
Yeah.
So afterwards, we'll report back to each other.
To each other.
Yeah. If you want to, but to be clear, listener, if you want to test it out and then email us and let us know.
And like, who knows? Maybe he'll end up in the Discord. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And also rowdy. Very important, if you do, yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have a whole new channel added that's like sex position legit, or like what's the sex scene logistics IRL. Question mark?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, afterwards they do start cooking again and it's super cute and she basically tells, like, he gives her the whole story about the drug situation and she tells him that you can't ever take drugs again. If we're going to be together. And he's like, I never will. He
says that's a really good incentive.
Mm-hmm. And
not even that I needed
it. Almost tells him that the other thing holding her back is that she really wants kids. And he has stated explicitly that he never wants to have children.
That was the first conversation in the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was trying to explain why a child's pose was easier for children.
Yep.
And she says, do you have kids? And he's like, no, and I never fucking will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So they decide
that was
to
before her.
Yeah.
You know, he also thought he loved being a loner.
Exactly. Things change.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is that, like, he didn't change because of her, right?
No.
He had no idea that this was a thing. And he's already been like, I can understand why my teammates want to go home to their wives and children and have homes with yards. And I get it.
Yeah. So
they also, the other agreement is that they're going to be a little secretive. She doesn't want this to affect work. She doesn't want it to be super out there and
not like, secretive.
People
but
can
they need to
know.
be subtle.
Yeah, exactly. And then they blow that out the fucking water the next morning.
Then they just make out in front of Nate and Lauren.
In a bakery. You're trying to be subtle and you're going to play tonsil hockey in the fucking bakery most local to the fucking arena?
Just get off of their nuts, Sabrina, okay? So anyway.
Whimsy.
Well, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry, that was my fault. But like, let's go over and say hi. We shouldn't look guilty about it. And she's like, okay. Mm-hmm. And when they get over there, Queen Lauren, bitch Lauren, book 3.
Oh my God. I think you're going to like that book. Because it's with the goalie Beacon.
I'm already obsessed with them because he's the ultimate fuck up. Like, it's also a second chance.
Do you know anything about the book?
All I know is that he got married to his high school sweetheart. They had a kid. Then in the middle of their marriage, they thought they were going to get divorced because they were both in love with other people. I'm pretty sure the other person he was in love with was Lauren. But then she got a big cancer and he didn't want to leave her anymore. And so then he spent a year like taking care of her while she died. And now he has a 13-year-old daughter.
You're going to fucking love that book.
I'm really excited about it.
And then Nate, because he doesn't have an issue with his people dating, because he's like, I expect my people to work hard, long hours. If they're not going to fucking meet somebody at work, where the fuck are they going to meet them?
Right.
So, and on top of that, I want my people to be really, which like, your job shouldn't be your life, Nate. But also, I want people who are good at making strong relationships.
Mm.
And so like, obviously, that's going to sometimes lead to people ending up together.
Mm-hmm.
And then, zippy zappy, we're in the epilogue. And the most important thing in the epilogue is that she finally tells him
that she wants kids. Or she thinks about it sometimes, she manages to say.
And he's like, me too.
Yeah. Okay. He says, next time you think about it, I want to hear. You're not going to scare me away. And she's like, are you sure?
Is there any sexier phrase in the English language than you're not going to scare me off or scare me away?
I don't know. Sometimes it makes me more nervous, though, because I'm like, still shouldn't get comfortable. Because like if anybody's going to scare a partner away, it's going to be me. He thinks, she thinks, they think I can't scare him away.
It's going to be one half of this podcast.
Hold my fucking beer.
But to be clear, it's both halves of this podcast, but it's going to be at least one of us. Like, yeah. And the end. Amazing.
End.
What a fucking good book.
God, start to finish on every level, this book was so good.
Well, and also there's not I'll put it this way. Sometimes there are chapters in books where I have like one line of what happened in there, but I never skip a chapter. But there are very few chapters in here because all of my notes are broken up by chapter. And sometimes it's just a line about something that happened. And then it'll say, quote, blah, 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 that and describe what the quote is. So if I know if I even need, because there's a lot of shit that I skip because you motored past it and I was like, we're fucking motoring. But I had it there just in case. And there's very little in this book where like it's a jam-packed 324 pages.
There is nothing unnecessary in this book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like the one scene,
9,000, the check thing.
Okay. All right.
You even commented on that. I forgot that doesn't come back later.
Yeah. I still don't understand what happened there, but we can deduce. Yeah. And then the only other thing is because I didn't read the University series, I was like, I don't know that we need to meet this bitch in Chicago, but like now I get why.
Ooh, Hartley?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
you love that. That was fan service.
That's a callback. That's a callback for us.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, love it.
And I didn't not enjoy it. It still served a purpose for this plot too, because it talked about it was a way to show how much of a loner he is and how foreign he thinks all of these things are. So it still served a purpose. This book was so good. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Delightful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm also a Sarina Bowen fangirl, so
Yeah. All right, Sabrina, what's your lady love?
My lady love, hilariously, is rereads. I forgot how much I enjoy a reread, and knowing like what's coming and what's happened and all of these things. And I'm actually really excited because we have another reread on this reading list for me.
Any Duchess will do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I've read all of Tessa Dare, and I'm excited about that. I'm also very excited about the fact that because they're rereads, I did not feel obligated to read the entire series leading up to any of these books. Because Any Duchess Will Do is book 4, and this is book 2. And knowing me, I would have realized that this series was in fact affected by a past series.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have I would have spiraled, and then I would have been 19 books in, and it would have been a whole thing. But I really like, as much as I am on record as not being a rereader, sometimes it's just really nice to go back and revisit an old friend.
Sometimes it's a comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's yours?
Right. Mine is the current and newest season of The Bachelor. All right.
Okay.
A lot of people know I am a longtime fan of the series, but I am also not immune to all of the problems there have been with the franchise as a whole in especially recent years. But I'm telling you right now, The Golden Bachelor just happened, and that was one of the feel-goodiest, awesome experiences. And it was pretty clear that there had been major shakeups in the on-site production team because they were portraying and like treating the contestants a lot differently. We were all hoping that was going to continue for the regular show. Bachelor in Paradise, unfortunately, I think might be a lost cause, and it might also get canceled. We don't know. But this new group of producers is very obviously on the most recent and current season of The Bachelor, season 28, with Joey Girashmo. He is a dreamboat, and so far the contestants are incredibly interesting on the whole. Like even some of the camera angles are different and fresher. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's been brought into 2024 instead of being like the show that was sticking to what it was like in the aughts. So if you have been not feeling The Bachelor for any kind of reason, I think this would be the time to dip a toe back in if you wanted to. Also, the previous season of The Bachelorette, Charity Lawson's season, was perfection from start to finish. She is one of, I think, the most iconic bachelorettes that we've ever seen. The finale, I actually cried. I usually don't get really emotionally impacted, but like both her saying goodbye to Joey and the proposal from her current fiance Dotun was like beautiful. Okay. So I think The Bachelor might be a new show now. I think it might be a similar format, but a brand new show. And that's all I'm saying about that, if you're interested. Okay.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Keeping a badass.
And love yourself as much as you love sticking your dick in a coffee maker.
Get it? Leaving your dick in a coffee maker. All right. Oh, no. Bye. Bye.
Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by Melody Carlisle.
Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, leave a nice review, and of course, tell all your friends about us. even if they don't read romance.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at heavingbosomespodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomespodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult.
Head over to our website to sign up for our newsletter, get our Reading Embrace printable, and check out my audiobooks at heavingbosoms.com. All right, we'll be back next week with more swoons and snark. See you then.